It all started on afternoon in June when I was sitting in my farmhouse drinking a cup of coffee. Then it occurred to me, what stops me from going on a solo travel trip? So I thought and I said, yeah, there are some constraints, like I'm turning 70 this August and most of my body parts are still functional but not at their peak. I have some family commitments. But then I said, yes, if I intend it strongly, then I can manage both these issues and then try for a solo trip. So I said, yeah. That day I made up my mind and I said, I am going solo on a trip. Of course, the next question came, where should I go? Now, month of June, it starts raining in Pune a bit. I decided that I would be going to the hills. And when it comes to hills, Uttarakhand is something which comes to your mind immediately. And then I started thinking, Uttarakhand. And Uttarakhand has got a plethora of places one can go to, right starting from Oli to Nainital to Binsar to Rishikesh to Haridwar. So there's a lot of choice there. So I started researching. I went to various sites, I went to various reviews, but finally I thought that this is my first solo trip. So I have to make it to a place which is easy to access. So I decided on Dhanaulti. The reason being very simple, that Dhanaulti is just 2 hours drive from Dehradoon, that is the Jolly Grant Airport at Dehradoon. And Dehradoon Airport is just 2 hours from Pune on a direct flight, which just takes 2 hours. So I said, yeah, that makes sense. And Dhanaulti is the place I said I'll be going. So Dhanaulti, here I come.
Coming out of Dehradun Airport, I was greeted by Arshad Bhai, my ride to Dhanaulti. I was relieved that things were finally falling in place. Arshad Bhai was an experienced Pahadi driver. We became instantly friends. It was almost 8:30 by the time I reached the hotel. Pradeep, the manager with whom I have spoken several times, was happy to receive me, and he invited me to join him for dinner. Nice of him. I was very excited. I said goodnight to the moon from my balcony and went to bed. Next morning was really the first impression of the place, and it was indeed rewarding. What a view! There were tall pine trees, clear sky showing mountains beyond. But the thing that attracted me the most was sound of birds. So I had no choice but to go down with my binocs. There were a pair of green back-tits on the tree near me. I saw a woodpecker prying out a pine nut from a cone. I was surprised to see a flock of scarlet finches. I could hear mating calls of partridges and jungle fowls in the valley. Couple of Himalayan bulbuls were quite curious about me. There were babblers, bee-eaters, drongos scouting around. I was impressed with the bird variety in such a small area, and that's where I decided to go on a trek to the valley below.
उतरना तो पॉसिबल हो जाएगा।
तो सर आगे तक तो आप चलिए सब थोड़ा सा ये सीनरी लेकर के जब आपने लाइव देखा
ठीक है
इसी का कर लीजिए।
ठीक है
मेरा तो कोई बात नहीं, मैं चले जाऊंगा।
नहीं आपका तो आदत है ना। तो फ्रेश मूली है ना। हाँ।
बढ़िया मूली लंबा मूली।
Yeah, these are 3 small temples. I can't go in front of them because the road is really very steep. But these are supposed to be the local deities. The place is wonderful. The view is fantastic. So this was a trek up to a spring down, and it was me, our security person, and Moju. But I've realized that if I walk all that down, I find it very difficult to come up. So I'm going to stop here.
Flower in full bloom welcomed us as we entered Dhanaulti Eco Park. There were tall pine and majestic deodar trees. But overall, the park was a bit of a letdown. Nothing much to see. So I sat there, enjoyed children playing and their mothers fussing over them. But the highlight was me meeting Baidji when I came out. Uttarakhand is famous for many medicinal plants, some quite rare. There were many shops selling genuine and not so genuine herbs. Baidji gave me a lowdown on the trade and lamented on the illicit trade. Of course, he wanted to sell me the elixir of health that will fix my knees and pot belly.
It has started raining, but of course that has made the weather a little, or rather cool. So I have taken an umbrella and I am going for a walk. And this is the route. It's a winding road. I mean, there is nothing on this road for at least next 4 to 5 kilometers. No, I don't intend to walk for 5 kilometers. Very nice feeling. This is part 2 of my walk. So I'm into that forest area. We are going in a safari jeep. These are more than 200 years old. And I want to introduce you to. आपका नाम क्या है?
गौरव सर।
गौरव।
हाय सर।
Hi. इसका नाम क्या है? कंटाल क्या? I was told that this tree is the oldest tree in this forest. And for some reason this is called Banj tree. Because Banj means different in different languages. This is called the Banj tree.
This was yet another interesting tree. Looks like a Trishul. There is a small Shiva shrine under it and local worship it in the name of Shiva. This is a view from Bhairavnath temple. That's the end of my safari. Jai Bhairavnath, Jai Bhairavnath.
Well, I'm back from my first solo trip and I'm having my Buranj juice, a gift from Uttarakhand. Well, today I wanted to talk about two things. One basically was why travel solo? That was first. And the second thing, what is the takeaway or lessons learned from my first visit? Now, why solo trip? Now, one of the beautiful things in solo trip is that you can manage your plans or location, you can manage your itinerary without having to negotiate with your co-travelers. They could be your friends, they could be your family, or also they could be a tour company with whom you go. Second thing which I really think is important is that because you are alone, you have an experience of the place in terms of people you meet. So for example, in my case, my first meeting was with the taxi driver, and we got along so well. He was with me most of the trip and we got along extremely well. I learned a lot of stuff from him. The manager at the hotel, I became pally with him. Not only that, actually in the morning I used to go for a cup of coffee to a nearby coffee place, and that guy kind of started recognizing me, and he also knew what kind of chai I needed, and he gave it to me. Now these things are something which I would value in addition to the opportunity of doing things on your own. But honestly, the thing which I loved most was this sense of adventure, because you're on your own, you're alone, and there is a possibility that there would be something happening, and that actually got me excited. So that was part one. Now the second part is, out of this visit, what is a lesson learned? Now I think on the last day of my visit, I had a bit of a stomach upset. But the manager at the hotel knew people around, and he got a doctor immediately, and I got fixed, no issues. But the lesson learned is next time when I go, I will check what is the medical assistance available to me nearby. Maybe a doctor or maybe a hospital. How far is it? Because at an advancing age, one needs to take care of these things. So, lastly, will I do it again? And the resounding answer is yes, I'm going to do it again, again, and again. So, you guys wait for my next vlog on the location which I'm going to go to. So, wish me luck. Goodbye.